Did you do it? Did you not do it? Is Kendrick lying? What's up? What's happening? You know, that's all I really want to know. That's it. Because he's been laying hard into this narrative that you are a diaper sniper. Kendrick is going with that. And unless you address it at this point, this ain't something you could just, you know, skirt around or get by or, you know what I'm saying, overlook, you know what I'm saying, outwit. I'm gonna need a direct response to that. The Heart Part 6, Master Troll. Kendrick decided to use your timestamps. You come back, return fire with the Heart Part 6 series. I get it. That makes sense. He's got a picture of Dave Free as the cover art. That's the sample you use and prove it.
Pulitzer Prize winner is definitely spiraling. I got your fucking lines tapped, I swear that I'm dialed in. First I was a rat, so where's the proof of the trial then? Where's the paperwork of the cabinet is filed in? 1090 Jake would've took all the walls down. The streets would've had me hiding out in a small town. My Montreal connects stand up, not fall down. The ones that you getting your stories from, they all clowns. I am a war general, seasoned in preparation. My jacket is covered in medals, honor and decoration. You waited for this moment, overcome with the desperation. We plotted for a week and then we fed you the information. A daughter that's 11 years old, I bet he takes it. We thought about giving a fake name or a destination, but you so thirsty, you not concerned with investigation. Instead, you in that Venice studio, it's a celebration.
Okay. So he basically saying Kendrick went for some bait. Just like I was skeptical on whether or not it was true when Kendrick said it, the shock factor makes the track completely. It does. But I think that OVO, you know, the fan base of Drake, makes that claim a lot less believable because even before he said it, they were going so crazy with that narrative. So it really makes it seem like a perspective he could have easily grabbed from Twitter or Instagram because that's just something that they were going with anyway. However, it could very easily be true. Just like what Kendrick was saying, I thought that might not be true. I don't have any proof of that. I don't got no proof that Drake's lying about this, but it does seem really, really convenient to go with it. But why not? The internet gave you the excuse. If it's not true, why not go with it?
You gotta learn to fact check things and be less impatient. Your fans are rejoicing, thinking this is my expiration. Even the picture you use, the jokes and the medication, the Maybach glove and the drug he uses for less inflation. Master manipulator, you bid on a speculation. You dumb and reactive, nigga, I'm petty with dedication. What about the bones we dug up in that excavation? And why isn't Whitney denying all of the allegations? Why is she following Dave Free and not Mr. Morale? You haven't seen the kids in 6 months, the distance is wild. Dave leaving heart emojis underneath pics of the child. Speaking of anything with a child, let's get to that now. This Epstein angle was the shit I expected. TikTok videos you collected and dissected. Instead of being on some disdirect shit, you rather fucking grab your pen and misdirect shit. My mom came over today and I was like, mother I, wait a second. That's that one record where you say you got my there. Oh, fuck.
I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised. I've been knowing that Drake could beat y'all. Saying, why are y'all putting Nay in the chat? I don't like that bar. I don't give a fuck if you like that bar. I really don't. This is the world that you open yourself up to when you make a track as demented and as dark as Meet the Gram. I've been saying this for weeks that Drake is gonna use whatever Kendrick has out there against him. Whether it's his molestation story, the story he's talked about on Auntie Diaries, all the shit that we held him to high regard for on Mr. Morale is gonna be thrown right back in his face. Do I hate it? I can't say I hate it. Y'all want niggas to play fair?
Me, I just made the whole connection. This about to get so depressing. This is trauma from your own confessions. This when your father leave you home alone with no protection, so neglected. That's why these file raps and shit you so obsessed with. It's so excessive. They acting like it's so aggressive. but you just never known affection. I don't wanna dish you anymore, this really got me second guessing. Touch My Body by Mariah Carey play, you probably start reflecting. I never been with no one underage, but now I understand why this the angle that you really mess with. Just for clarity, I feel disgusted, I'm too respected. If I was fucking young girls, I promise I'd have been arrested. I'm way too famous for the shit you just suggested, but that's not the lesson, clearly.
What? Wait, huh? No, okay, no, bad bars. He was on a roll. He was going crazy for a cool little minute. He was going crazy for a cool little second. And then this nigga said, why didn't they catch me yet then? That is excuse number one that most of these niggas be using. What do you mean? That's like top 5 excuses that these that's actually doing that should be doing. How come I haven't been caught yet? If I did it, somebody would have came forward. What are you saying? That's like top 2, not 2. You were here and then you brought it back down like an additional 3. That was fucking crazy, Drake.
And clearly there's a deeper message. Deep cuts that never healed and now they got infected. Like if Dave really fucked your girl and got her pregnant. Talk about breeding resentment. Not sure how to ease the sentiment. The shit's too intimate. I'm praying you recover from both incidents. But you a piece of shit, so this shit really no coincidence. Drake is not a name that you gon' see on no offender list. Easy does it. You mentioned an A minor, but niggas gotta be sharp and
well, it wouldn't be Drake. It would be Aubrey Graham. But I get what you're saying, though. Weird, very bad angle, though.
Major. I let you throw with the razor and do Rick Ross hair like that one flight from Malaysia. I'm your baby mama screensaver. Only with Whitney's, not Millie Bobby Browns. I never look twice at no teenager. I'm a hit maker, dog, not a peacemaker. Yeah, bullets that I'm stuffing in each chamber. Your ass in extreme danger. Stop buying views and buy comments. You may as well keep the paper. Shit you about to need for later. I give a fuck about your streaming data. You could drop 100 more records. I'll see you later. Yeah, maybe when you meet your maker. I don't wanna fight with a woman beater. It feeds your nature. If you still bumping R. Kelly, you could thank the savior. Said if they deleted his music, then your music is going to a hypocrite. I don't understand why these people praise you. Sounding like you send him commissary when he needs some paper. Album dropping soon, no wonder you turn a clout chaser instead of doing hard labor. Nigga, I see you when I see you like Fantasia. And Whitney, you can hit me if you need a favor. And when I say I hit your back, it's a lot safer. I promise. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, this shit was some good exercise. Like, it's good to get.
I know you're not about to spend the last minute of this shit monologuing.
Out, get the pen working.
You better use the rest of this time to keep going.
Be a worthy competitor if I was really a predator and you weren't fucking lying to every blogger and editor, but it is what it is. You definitely got this shit burnt the fuck out though. Like, you got 10 more records to drop. The one before the last one, we finessed you into telling a story that doesn't even exist. And then you go and drop the West Coast one to try and cover that up. I would like that one. That would be some shit I could dance to if you wasn't tripling down on some whole other bullshit. But, you know, at least your fans are getting some raps out of you. I'm happy I can motivate you, bring you back to the game, like, you know, but just let me know when we get into the facts. Everything in my shit is facts.
Okay.
I'm waiting on you to return the favor, like.
Okay. I thought there were some angles in here that, like, I think that he really could have, you know, dove, like, really, really deep into. Like, one point of criticism I think I could have for Kendrick, right, is when you lay so deeply into a narrative, it is wise to have proof of that 150%. So when you go and you have this record that's supposed to be like your banger out of everything so far that you've dropped, the record Not Like Us, and it's based off information, at least somewhat, that pertains to Drake that isn't necessarily proven yet. If he comes back and responds to it, it does make it sting a little less. Without the proof, it don't sting as bad. I also think that the narrative that Drake actually paid people, or he actually had people in the camp feeding Kendrick misinformation, is such an immense online perspective that I think he just grabbed from the OVO camp, from the OVO ovulators. I don't think that for 1 second that that's actually true. to be honest, that he baited Kendrick with fake information. I think if Kendrick did happen to come into some misinformation, that just happened to be by chance and he went with it. But I don't think that Drake did that of his own. Like, I don't think he did that. If anything, the Drake fan base has ruined that narrative for being genuinely from Drake for me. And then it's just something that he's been seeing. And Drake is an internet warrior. He's been online constantly. He's been liking comments. He's been, you know what I'm saying, posting stories. He's been in people's likes. Like, I don't doubt that he got that from the internet, bro. I know his fan base is just eating that thought up. Like, oh my God, he completely destroyed him. Why wouldn't you give Kendrick a fake name? Why wouldn't you give him a location? Like, if I'm feeding somebody like Kendrick all this information about a potential child, I would give him all the info in the world to make him look as dumb as humanly possible. I would give him a name. I would give him a low. I would give him a baby mama name. I would give him everything so he could fully lean into that. Because I know Kendrick's the type of artist that would do some shit like that. Why wouldn't I give him all of it? If this was really from the very beginning, I wouldn't just give him rumors of there being a potential child and she's 11. If I'm Drake and I'm that calculated and I've been waiting for this moment to happen, I'm going to make sure you fully look dumb. I'm going to make sure you all the way go into this narrative, all the way go into this lie so I can expose you. And I'm going to have a nigga who gave you the information on my track, most likely. I'm going to have him weaved into it some way. I'm not just going to casually mention that. Allegations out of the mix, out of his situation, right? Taking him, removing him from it automatically. The record still hits. There was much more said within that record that could pertain to Drake, and that is true when it comes to Meet the Grams, when it comes to Euphoria, when it comes to 616, when it comes to Not Like Us. There's a lot of shit that's true in there outside of just the allegation that Kendrick made about Drake having a daughter and Drake having that many underage women that he's, I guess, already been in some sexual contact with. Because Drake has many examples of him being with and around young women that are freshly turned 18, women that are just getting out of adolescence, some of them that are still in adolescence, unfortunately. And then there's that one piece of footage that, I mean, I guess even the Drake fan base don't like to acknowledge, where he's in his mid-20s and he's, you know, touching this 17-year-old on stage. Like, even they don't like to admit that. So you can say that you've never technically done anything. That doesn't take away the illusion or the narrative that you've actually created for yourself that's already out there. You feel what I'm saying? Like, Kendrick might have lent too much credit to that idea 100% without proof, but you already, I mean, you look weird anyway. Without that accusation, you still look weird. The Mother I Sober line I thought was really, really interesting because it showed me that he could go really, really underhanded, even more so than I thought he could. And I think Kendrick brought it down to that level once he started opening up his track, talking about Adonis, talking about his mother, his father, him, how it all links to family, shit like that. So I think that Kendrick definitely brought it down to that lower level to where Drake could say something like that and it not be this shock factor as it was with Kendrick on Meet the Grams. But I like that he went that angle because I want you to take this serious. I don't want you to go superficial, over the top. You talking about Kendrick just opened his mouth, somebody give him a Grammy, y'all overrate this man. I really don't want to hear that. Outside of that, I think it's good that he addressed the allegations, but that just doesn't take away everything that's already happened. Without proof, people have been saying this before Kendrick made a public spat about it. You got into a beef or a back and forth with Joe Budden for saying, oh shit, you talk to too many young girls. You hang around too many young people. This is something that you've been arguing with other niggas about anyway before Kendrick. Drake misunderstood Mother I Sober. I mean, y'all could ponder on that. I don't really have the breakdown of the entire track in my mind at the exact moment, so it's hard for me to, you know what I'm saying, be like, oh, well, you got this part wrong, you got this part right. I just know that it's good that he was willing to go there, even if he did misinterpret it. I mean, if Kendrick's allowed to get misinformation about Drake having an 11-year-old daughter, I think Drake is perfectly within his right. Or it's not dishonorable for Drake to get that misinformation from the track. You know what I'm saying? I don't think that I need to correct him on that if nobody's going to correct Kendrick Lamar on Drake having an 11-year-old daughter. But it's a response. And I may mention to this one, like as soon as we first heard the line, this Drake thinks that it's an acceptable response to past allegations to say I would never do that because I haven't been caught yet and I'm too famous. That is probably the worst response to someone potentially being into children I think I've ever heard. And it's the most common defense that a lot of those dudes that end up getting caught for this exact thing that you're denying say right before they get caught. Did R. Kelly not go on Gayle King to say I would never do that? I don't know how to hog tie people. This nigga was on there just denying everything, saying the craziest shit of all time. 2 days later, they got him. Like, they all say the same thing. So I don't know what that response is. I would like to think it's not true. But when you say shit like this, it's like, cuz, what the fuck? Outside of that, I didn't really get much else out of this track. I thought it was pretty menacing. I thought he came through with a little bit more, you know, it seemed that he was taking it a lot more seriously, but I don't know. There wasn't any shock value or shock factor. He was kind of doubling down on everything that he's been saying about Kendrick so far when it comes to him cheating on his wife, when it comes to him potentially his wife. He didn't come at this from an angle that I thought was just mind-blowing or that made me look at things different. And that's kind of the thing that people were saying about Kendrick when he first made, you know, Euphoria. He was making these tracks talking about, oh shit, you know, I have this perspective of Drake. And then the nigga's excuse was, oh, well, you're not saying anything new. Well, if I'm listening to The Heart Part 6, I don't really think I'm hearing anything new from Drake with the way he's approaching the track. When Kendrick came out with Meet the Grams, he approached that bitch like he was Drake's therapist. I'm waiting for Drake to attack this from an angle that I don't expect. He's still thinking about this like a rapper. It's a cool track though, don't get me wrong. It's still a cool track, but I need more. Yeah, a little bit of Damage Control. The reason I think I could listen to this over and over again is because the atmosphere wasn't created for the type of introspection or the type of dissection that Drake is going for right now. The atmosphere that Kendrick created for Meet the Grams was so serious in tone, and like the angle that Drake is coming at this from right now in this specific part, it hits less hard. Number one, because Kendrick got to this dissection thing first. Unfortunately, the Meet the Grams angle, the therapist session, the I'm gonna sit you down and talk to you angle, Kendrick got to it first. Unfortunately. Drake is going with that angle right now, which I don't think is a bad angle for him to come at him from again. But I'm listening to this over a beat that's pretty standard OVO 40-esque beat. You can say it's Holy Glaze as much as you fucking want, bro. You can say it as much as you want. That don't change the reality of the situation. That the shit that he said don't hit as hard because his opponent got to it first. And the backdrop that he's saying it on, I don't take as seriously, especially acknowledging the fact that this is a beat that Drake could use this beat for anything. I think it's a great angle though, that for Drake to try to come at though. I don't think that you could play Kendrick fair. I don't think you can, but it don't make me feel uncomfortable. It don't make me look at this track like, oh shit, I don't want to listen to this no more. And that's very much so the uncomfortability that I felt when I listened to Meet the Grams. The other shit that Kendrick was saying in that record, and the seriousness in his tone and delivery in the backdrop that he created, the aesthetic of that track being so moody and haunting and creepy and stressful, that's not something that Drake matches artistically here. Like, even when we're talking about diss records, the artistic aspect of that track makes it hit home 1,000,000 times harder. Drake is treating this as like another song. My thing is, why feed information to a man that hates you and then have that man drop a legendary track after? Well, I think this is still people underestimating what Kendrick can do. Because like I said, the entirety of Meet the Grams didn't hinge on the 11-year-old potential girl-daughter thing. What made it so much more powerful wasn't just the revelation. That added a lot of shock factor, but that wasn't why somebody listened to that song and was speechless throughout. That wasn't the only reason. Even if they fed misinformation, which I don't think they did based off of what Drake is talking about right now, even if they fed misinformation, I don't think they expected Kendrick to make what he made out of it. That's all I'm saying. That even though some of those things don't apply to Drake, I think that there are enough instances of them applying to people in his circle. And that's the part that's damning for Drake. Because even if you wanted to be like, you know, oh yeah, we can't say that Drake is that yet because we don't got proof and this and that, it applies to some niggas in your circle, unfortunately.
Savior said if they deleted his music, then your music is going to a hypocrite. I don't understand why these people praise you. Sounding like you sent him commissary when he needs some paper.
And that's the thing too about you know, the disses that he's going for. Not only is that not true, because that's not what Kendrick said. The issue with that part is more so like, that's so specific. I feel like a lot of that, like that might go over even some of Drake's own fan base's head when it comes to the criticism of Kendrick having such a strong stance against pedophiles, but at the same time, you know, wanting the standard to be set that if you're going to apply this anti-child narrative on Spotify's part for black artists, you also have to apply it to white artists as well. What's his angle? In general, I think you should just apply it whenever. I don't feel bad for people that deal with children at all. But it was a very open hypocrisy of Spotify to say that. And that was the angle that Kendrick and a lot of the people that were coming at that angle at that time were having. And I think that was because of the XXXTentacion blow up sometime around 2017, 2018 is why that response was even given. But even if nobody even knew about that, I feel like that's such a specific criticism that might go over Drake's own audience's head. And not because they're too stupid to understand it, but because they just might not know that he even said that. It might not hit. Rick Ross reacts to Drake's new Kendrick Lamar cut. Okay, let me see what Rick Ross is talking about. This nigga do not have a home, bro. This nigga might as well be homeless. Rick Ross he might as well just not, like, bro, please. Just go find your plane, bro. Just please. I'm so sick of seeing this nigga, bro. I am. Holy shit. This nigga hasn't been in the house for 3 days straight.
Heard that new BBL Drizzy, the diss, the bomb.
Still got this Cuban on. Actually, no, it's a full chain now. Never mind. Let me shut the fuck up. Hold on, Ross. You wearing Balenciaga? What the fuck? Ross. I don't know about that one. What would Kendrick think? Bringing up Millie Bobby Brown on that track when Kendrick never mentioned her is the most telling slip up. Okay, listen, man. Nah, he brought her up, didn't he? Yes, he did, bro. I remember he said it. He was like, you mentioned Whitney. Well, I'm Bobby Brown. Speaking of, you talked to her when she was 11 or some shit. Now, I remember it was the track. And yeah, it was yeah, exactly, right? It was there. How does someone prove that they aren't a child? You make that accusation about someone and there's nothing you can do, you're cooked. Well, there's a lot of things that you shouldn't do, right? So if someone accuses you of being a child, what you shouldn't do is not respond. What you also shouldn't do, if you do respond, is to say, why haven't they caught me yet? I'm too famous for that. That's what you shouldn't do. There's a laundry list of things that you shouldn't do if you're being accused of some heinous shit. I can't tell everybody how to move, you know, being a person never been in that situation before, but I can tell you what makes you look significantly worse. And that excuse makes you look bad. So just don't say those things. Maybe hire an advisor, a legal representative. Maybe do a cease and desist for that record. Why do a cease and desist for like that, but not for the misinformation on those other records? I would. Low key, I'd sue Kendrick. God, what the fuck? What the fuck? Who the fuck is Jamal? Nigga say he worse than me. Well, obviously. Nigga, Charlie's Cheesesteaks, Wingstop, Me Mom's, Dunkin' Donut. What the fuck meal was you cooking up? Dunkin' Donut. What the fuck? A cheesesteak with donuts and wings? The fuck is this? Yo, am I a comedian? I might as well be a comedian because niggas is stealing my jokes. Niggas is stealing my jokes. I literally just said this.
I hog-tied her.
I said this! Nah, that's funny.
I don't know how to hog-tie people. What would I hog-tie?
I'm so sorry, bro. He is such a human piece of shit, like a walking piece of shit. But this is the crazy, like he doesn't understand what he gave this day. He don't get it. How long ago was this interview? Like 5 years ago? He don't get it. He don't get it at all.
I don't know how to hog-tie people.
How did he do that with his voice? Was that like intentional or not? I don't know. He was just so passionate. He was so passionate. And the nigga lying. He lying through his teeth. Ew, nigga, gross. I don't want to hear French. I think I found an accent worse than Toronto. If you are male and you rapping in French, bro, just give it up. You're not going to accomplish shit in life. Just go ahead and put that fedora on or whatever that little painter hat that y'all be wearing. Put that shit on and just go on about your business, bro. Stay out the fucking booth. I'm going to be honest with you, bro. I do not want to hear that shit at all. Give your dreams to God and let him alter them. Please. please give it up. I'm sorry, bro. That is horrible. Holy shit. Like, I don't even want to know how the mic be looking when y'all get done rapping. And I don't think it's trash. I don't think it's trash, by the way. But it ain't Meet the Grams. It ain't Euphoria. I'll say that, you know. It ain't even push-ups. It ain't even Family Matters. It ain't none of those. I just think this is probably the weakest out of all of them so far. Like, it's better than the Taylor Made and the 616 thing, but like out of the actual like forward disses, like this might actually be like the worst one. Drake didn't lose because of just some imaginary, you know, allegiance that people have to Kendrick. For the adults that aren't dick riding either artist, and you're looking at the situation objectively based off of what's publicly available already outside of allegation alone, you're gonna look at Drake like this nigga's weird. Before the beef, before any of this, you gonna look at Drake like the nigga's a loser and the nigga's a weirdo. The nigga's been subbing his exes, rich and poor, for years, subbing their partners now post relationship with them for years, coming at women for or taunting women for being abused in some regard before, which is why it's harder to lean into his opinion or perspective about Kendrick and the abuse allegations that he's levied on him when we know how you feel about it in general. You got people on your team and in your section that have abused women in the past that you don't give a fuck about. You've proven in your songs that you deal with young people on a regular basis, even if they are legal. That doesn't necessarily mean moral. It's too many reasons outside of just Kendrick saying you have a daughter and that not being true why people are still on Kendrick's side regardless. And if I'm just limiting this to the track itself, we already talked about how the artistic setup for why or when Drake was trying to go into this angle that, you know, Kendrick needs to be dissected isn't really of value. It doesn't really hold up. It doesn't have much merit because there isn't even any artistic buildup behind it. It don't have any impact considering what we just fucking listened to. You're not even dropping any bombs. I mean, if you think the nigga lying, then lie yourself. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck, Drake. Come up with some crazy shit if you need to. If that's how you feeling, if that's how you moving, but you really did get on the track and say, nah, not me.